All right. There we go. So I did start printing out some of the ingredients list and things like that, so you guys can kind of see exactly what we're doing. Now with this dish, I'm substituting. It says spaghetti fettuccine. I'm substituting spaghetti fettuccine for cappottabie because I just like the way it looks. It's a nice, cool pasta. Sure. Yeah, it's almost like, imagine two elbow macaronis being stuck together. So it kind of has this spirally deal. I like to experiment. It's one of those things I do also. I like to experiment with the pasta that I'm using. And today we are using cappottabie pasta. But you can use spaghetti, linguine. You can make it however you want to make it. There's no real hard set rules to doing this. But again, like I said before, this is I'm introducing for the video. This is the new Courtland's Senior Healthy Cooking class that we do once a month. And since weather is starting to break, I thought it would be a good idea to start using fresh ingredients because especially if they're locally grown, they're gonna have better flavor. They're gonna be, the price is gonna be cheaper. They're gonna have better flavor, and there's gonna be more of a variety, especially now in this area. So I just kind of wanted to focus a little bit on that. So today we're gonna do what we call a pasta primavera. And primavera just means fresh vegetables, really all it really means. Yeah, primavera just means, it actually means springtime is really what it means, but in terms of culinary, it means fresh vegetables is really what it means. So it kind of actually makes sense if you think about it. So we're gonna start with absolutely. Al dente is a texture of pasta. So typically when you cook pasta, you can you either undercook it or you overcook it. Al dente is right before it's overcooked, so it still has a little bit of bite to it, right? So I had an aunt who overcooked her pasta and everything. It was always mushy, like it was always done, right? So what you want to do is you want to cook it right before it's done. A lot of times the pasta will tell you on the box how long to cook to al dente. Usually for spaghetti, it's around 10 minutes. Some of them take up to 12. I think penne takes a little bit longer. It takes about 12 minutes for penne to become al dente. Anything over that, then it's still edible, it's fine, but it just doesn't have that snap, that bite to it. And you'll see, once we do this, you'll see. I cook this al dente, and the reason why is because I want to introduce it to more heat, right? So if I cook it to the point where it's perfect, once I add heat to it, it'll start to cook even more. It may make it mushy, and then once you try to reheat it, after a day or two, it may change the texture of it. So you always want to cook your pasta a little bit under. Macaroni and cheese is a perfect example of where you want to undercook your pasta because you're going to add cheese and cream and all that stuff to it, and then you're going to rebake it in the oven. So a lot of times you'll see people make macaroni and cheese, and then the macaroni starts to explode or split because they overcooked it beforehand. So if you cook it a little under, and then as you introduce it to the heat, it'll continue to cook. Same things if you're doing catering or if you're taking a dish to someone's house, you always want to undercook it a little bit because you're always going to cook it longer, right? So al dente is that. Al dente is just a process of slightly undercooking a pasta, right? So we're going to start with trusty old zucchini. Zucchini is really good. Very neutral flavor, high water content, which can be a good thing. The good thing about zucchini is it's very versatile. It can be eaten raw. It can be eaten cooked. I prefer it cooked, but I have seen people make dishes, salads, stuff like that. You can do it raw. I kind of want to make these a little bit thin, a little bit small. So let's start with half of one. Because this is a lot. This is actually a lot of zucchini. You really don't need that much. A person cooking for themselves, maybe a quarter of this, because it can go a long way. So we're just going to make a few cuts. Yeah, I just sharpened it not too long ago. So we're going to put that to the side. We're going to get our flame going. We're going to go about medium. Now, when I'm cooking the vegetables, because it's a pasta dish, I don't want to brown the vegetables too much. When you brown the vegetables, the flavor changes because you're releasing all the sugars. The sugars in vegetables and fruits is what browns. We call it the Maillard reaction is when it's meat, because meat doesn't have sugar in it. Caramelization is when it's fruits and vegetables. The natural sugars in them starts to brown. Some things brown faster because there's less water content and there's more sugar. So certain things will brown faster than other things. Zucchini does not have a ton of natural sugar in it. and it has a lot of water. So it would take a little bit longer for, say, a zucchini to brown than it would for a red pepper to brown. So, but we don't want it to get that because we want it to be fresh, and we want it to be vibrant, and we want it to be bright. So we're going to get our zucchini ready. We're going to cut a couple pieces of our red pepper. We're just going to flatten this out a little bit. We're going to make some nice healthy strips. Because again, I want it to be some substance to it, right? So we're going to cut nice, large dice, approximately maybe about a half an inch, right? Now, because the peppers are going to cook a little bit faster than the zucchini, we're going to start with the peppers in the pan first. So this is actually a blend of sunflower oil and olive oil. Olive oil has a really strong flavor, so be careful with cooking with just olive oil. It's the sunflower oil. The olive oil is going to be dark green, but because they added a lighter yellow sunflower oil, it has this weird green tint to it. I think this is a really good balance of oil, a really good balanced oil, because like I said, olive oil has a tendency to be strong. So for me, I don't cook with olive oil. One, it has a lower smoking point than canola oil. Canola oil could hold temperature higher. So for example, if you were to fill up a deep fryer with olive oil, the flavor would turn rancid because the olive oil should not get that hot. Typically, you deep fry around 325 to 350 degrees. Olive oil should never be that hot. So you should probably keep it. Say it again. Grapeseed oil is good. Grapeseed oil is one of those neutral oils that doesn't really have a strong flavor. So it just like canola oil, it can be used in that fashion, right? Sunflower oil, same thing. Canola, peanut oil, those things they burn at a higher temperature, so it takes a lot longer. Olive oil is better as a finishing oil. Like when you're making a pasta or something and you want just a little bit more fat to it, you add a little bit of olive oil to it, and that's it. But again, because this is mixed with the sunflower oil, it makes it kind of okay. Sure. Uh-huh. Olive oil. Perfect. Yes. Nope. Yeah, avocado oil is a really good. So those are examples of good fats. So there are good fats and bad fats, and olive oil and avocado are good fats. They are typically expensive because it takes a lot for them to they do become expensive. Canola oil is probably the cheapest because it's so readily available.
And vegetable oil, just the fact that it's saying vegetable oil,
right?
That's not no great oil, correct?
Vegetable oil is a combination of oils, so it's probably the most neutral. It probably has the highest smoking point, but again, it doesn't have a lot of flavor like olive oil, or avocado oil, grapeseed oil, or peanut oil. But it's the most versatile, but also the cheapest because it's a combination of any and every vegetable that produces oils. It's not horrible. It's about as good as canola oil is. Well, canola is just as a typical flour that they press and extract the oils. Vegetable oil is just it'll probably be canola. It can be a combination of a bunch of different oils, a bunch of different vegetables oil that they press. But yeah, it doesn't really, because every company make it differently. So there's no real hard fast rule when it comes to vegetable oil, as opposed to like a canola oil or a lard or something that's a very specific thing. All right, so we got our peppers going. I just want to get these. I just want to get them. I don't want to overcook them. I want to get them to where they're still tender, but still has some form to them. So now I think it's peanut oil is probably the best. I love peanut oil. It's the best. It has the best flavor. It has a really good smoking point. It's just really expensive is the problem. Yeah, it's really expensive. All right, we're gonna toss a little bit of the zucchini in there. Let that cook a little bit. Yeah, it's really good. It's just so expensive that you really. Yeah. It takes a lot. You got to remember, a peanut is only this big. So to get a gallon of oil, you're going to need a tree and a half of peanuts to produce that much oil. Where canola, there are canola fields in the South. There are canola fields for miles and miles and miles. So it's easier to produce canola oils. That's why it's so much cheaper. But peanut oil by far is the best. I love peanut oil. You ever been down Wildwood? The Curly's fries? They cook them in peanut oil. Yes. Yeah. Curly's. They're like world renowned. There's one I believe in Atlantic City was the original one that was way back in the day. They also have one in Wildwood, but I think Atlantic City was the original Curly's, and they've been cooking it in peanut oil, and they've probably been here 50, 60, 70 years, something crazy like that. Yep. All right, we got the zucchini going. Get some heat in the zucchini now. So it's going to start to change colors. It's going to start to look a little bit more translucent. That looks good. All right, we're going to add some cherry tomatoes. Now, cherry tomatoes are good. They're pretty cooked. They're pretty much ready to eat as is. So we're not going to cook these too long. We just want to get some heat in them. We don't want to cook them because what happens is they have a lot of water content and they'll break down really, really quickly. And we don't want that to happen. We just want them to kind of maintain their shape, and we want them to produce a little bit of moisture so that way it can keep it keeps the pasta nice and moist. My wife hates that word, moist. So it's a thing. It's a real thing. I mean, it's a word.
I hate the word store.
Four?
Store.
Oh, so that's funny. So here we go. We got the tomatoes in there. We got some zucchini. We got some red pepper. I always stress, eat your colors. The more colors you eat, the healthier the thing is, right? Nature produces things with color. Typically, things that don't have color are things that are processed, and they strip a lot of the color away, right? White rice, things like that. All right. So now we're gonna. I typically do. This one does not call for onions, but I would personally do onions and or garlic is what I would personally do. This one I would probably use a red onion. Again, I would use red onion because I'm a big fan of red onion. And it also adds color, right? It adds color. First thing you do is you see your food and before you eat it, right? So also gotta remember, I'm thinking from chef perspective, right? So for me, what dish would somebody want to see in front of them? They don't want to see a bunch of. I could do pasta with yellow squash, corn, and all these bland yellow ingredients, and it doesn't translate. But if you start adding color, it does translate. So while we're letting that go a little bit, we're gonna get some fresh parsley. And this is part of what makes this dish pop so well. It's using the fresh herbs and things like that. So parsley is going to just add a nice earthy flavor, a nice herby flavor to it. The basil is going to add a little bit of that good Italian bite, that good Mediterranean bite. So what also inspired this was I just switched to the Mediterranean diet because doctors across from cancer research to heart, they say that the Mediterranean diet is the best diet hands down. More so than veganism or any of these other fad diets. This one is the most sustainable one because a group of people have been eating it for millennia. And two, because it incorporates a lot of lean proteins, a lot of fish, a lot of good fats, a lot of fresh ingredients. So I'm a big fan of the Mediterranean diet, and I just started. So we got a little parsley. Let's get a little. Yeah. Yep. All right, so I'm going to just start tossing. I'm going to start introducing my pasta to the dish. There we go. Beautiful. The flip, that took me 10, 15 years to learn that one. All right, so now we got our pasta in there. Our pasta's warming through. You want the veg to go, the herbs to go in last because you want them to be fresh and bright. You don't want to overcook them. Once you start cooking, they start to lose a little bit of their brightness. We want to keep that brightness in there. So I'm gonna let that go for a little bit longer. While that's happening, so with this type of dish, it's all about building flavors, right? So I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon zest and lemon juice. Lemon zest is just from the rind, right? So I'm going to take a grater and just kind of pass it over there a couple times. Get a little bit of that zest in there. That zest is going to add. You're going to smell it soon. Like it's phenomenal. And this is a good way to get some of that freshness, some of those good oils that are in the lemon. Get those out. So let's cut that open. Because we're going to use that also. Say it again. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Yes. Yeah, with my produce, I typically rinse You can do like a vinegar bath if you add a little bit of vinegar inside the water, or baking soda, and or baking soda. And that'll kind of get any of the pesticides or any of the ingredients off it. Because what we find is that because the produce typically is picked in farms and bagged right there in the farms, there's no cleaning process for a lot of them. Some companies do offer that, but a lot of companies don't. A lot of companies, the spinach is picked right outside, and then the migrants are picking it, putting it in bags, and it goes right to the plant, and they're packaging it. Well, there's no bathrooms outside for the migrants to use, so they're using the fields. That's why you have a high E. coli concentration in a lot of the a lot of the fresh produce, unfortunately. So we got a good amount of lemon juice in there. Yeah. This is a lot. That was 2 lemons. I used the zest from 1, and then I did the juice from 2, from that one plus another one. All right. So we can turn that fire almost all the way down. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my fresh herbs. And because I turned that off, now the herbs are just warming through. They're staying nice and fresh and vibrant. Ooh, yeah.
Now, will that be a side dish?
So this could be a side dish, or it could be a meal. It could be whatever you want. So a lot of the things that I do, I try to do it where it's generic enough you can make it the side dish or the main dish. You can throw a shrimp in this and it become its own meal. You can put salmon on the side of it. Now you got a salmon next to it. You can put chicken in there. I'm actually going to make this for dinner for myself tonight, and I'm going to use. I made jerk chicken the other day, so I'm going to use the jerk chicken that I made the other day as my protein for this. So, yep. So typically I don't salt and pepper anything, but because pasta is so bland, it doesn't have any flavor. We're going to use a little bit of salt, pepper, and garlic mix in this, right? And what salt does is it also brings all of the flavors together. There's no amount of salt that I can use that would equate to eating like a box of macaroni, right? Because the box of macaroni, they use sodium bicarbonates and sodium derivatives as a preservative. So typically those levels are like 30% of your daily value. 30% of your daily value of regular salt, you wouldn't be able to eat it. So we're okay with adding a little bit of salt and pepper to most of our dishes, as long as we're making them fresh. Yes, absolutely. I only use a little bit because I am also going to use a little bit of Parmesan cheese, which also has some salt in it. All right, so. We're going to add just a little bit of fresh parm. And this will also help thicken the liquid, the lemon water, lemon juice, whatever you want to call it. It'll also help thicken that up a little bit. Nice. This is coming together really, really well. Here we go. And as any good chef would do, you have to taste. Nice and bright. I'm going to add just a tad bit of more salt and pepper. Nice, come together. And again, this could be a side dish. It could be the main dish. It could be any part of the dish you want. All right. All right, let's get some tastes going. You don't want to know? No problem. No problem. You don't like vegetables? Oh man.
Oh my God, that looks so good.
Yes. And then we're going to just a little bit more on top. So because aesthetics is everything, right? Right here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I got a fork for you. Hold on 1 second. Absolutely. I'm pull the table over for you. Come on out.
Thank you.
Got it? Yep, I got you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep. Eat me some more. Nice, bright, and fresh is the idea. It's springtime. It's going to start getting warmer. So you want some lighter foods. You want some lighter foods to kind of get you through those warm and hot days.
Definitely make it.
Yep.
You can add a shrimp or
Shrimp, chicken, anything, salmon, trout, whatever. Yep. Yep.
I would like to salmon or shrimp.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that lemon, seafood works the best because that lemon will make them shrimp kind of sing to you.
But this is parsley and basil.
Parsley and basil is the herb. Yes, correct. And it can be a nice hearty meal, and then you got your vegetable intake for the day without even realizing it. It doesn't have to be a chore to eat vegetables anymore. Young lady wants some.
You won't eat not one vegetable.
You got to eat more vegetables, man. You know, you want to live long. You want to live a long, long life. Got to eat them vegetables. Okay. All right. Could always be better, though. Could always be better. I say that when I go to the gym. I said, I did enough today. I said, you know what? No, I didn't. I could always do more.
It's nice you can come in and teach us.
I appreciate that. Yes, sir. Of course. Absolutely. Yeah. Just it's one of those things that it's so simple. And what was it? 5-7 minutes. Everything's prepared. 5-7 minutes. Quick, throw some shrimp in there. You had something left over from the night before. Pieces of chicken, some shrimp or a piece of salmon. Throw that together, and now you got a whole different meal than what you had before. And again, it's hearty and it's guilt free, right? You don't have to feel like, oh man, I shouldn't be eating that.
Now, it's not supposed to be hot per se.
No, sure it is. Sure it is. Yeah,
It's supposed to be hot.
absolutely. You can also eat it cold as a pasta salad if you wanted to.
Like warm here.
Yeah, I would prefer it to be that temperature more so than like piping hot. Because then what happens is when it's piping hot, you're going to lose a lot of the flavor from the veg and the brightness of the herbs. Right.
I like it hot. Yeah.
Yeah. You can absolutely do it cold. I mean, it's literally a pasta salad. Instead of a vinaigrette, I just use lemon juice and cheese to make the sauce. Right. So that's the.
I put it in the microwave. Heat it up a little more.
Yeah. Yes.
You have your shrimp on the side.
Absolutely.
Throw that bad
Yep.
boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can even do it cold with the shrimp. Almost like a cold shrimp cocktail pasta salad. You can do it that way. There's so many, and that's the thing. It's so many, different versions that you can do. Like that's the thing about cooking is it's not one size fits all. You can kind of, manipulate and play with it. And that's exactly what I do. Is like a lot of times I'll go shopping and I'll find things, or I'll make a dish and I'll try to figure out how many different ways I can make that same dish. So, yep.
Hello, what now?
But yes, that is
You came down here to change your address. Yeah.
I'm glad everybody's enjoying it.